All right, let's talk Holley Sniper. A lot of this is going to be redundant information if you've seen any of my previous videos. However, I've never had a Holley 1 per se and a Holley 2 at the same time at the shop for installs. So we figure we take this opportunity and go over these units in detail so you can see if you want this one or if you want this one, and do you want all the accessories. We're going to figure it out. So these units are pretty similar. The software that they use is very similar. A lot of the components are very similar, but there's a few key differences you may need to know before you make your purchase. So the Holley 1, for instance, the base is dual drilled for you guys running the Mopar carburetors and the, what's the name of that carburetor? What? This looks like a thermoquad, so I keep wanting to say thermoquad, but it's a quadrijet. Yes, Holley 1 has a dual drilled base. It'll fit right on your manifold that has a quadrijet on it, whereas you need a Holley intake or an adapter for this one. Make sure you got the hood clearance for that. Right off the bat, the differences are, you can see the fuel inlets are on the back of the Holley 1. They're on the side of a Holley 2, more traditional. They move the computer from the front to the side. Now, they say that's for EMI interference. I'm assuming for all the Ford and Mopar guys where the distributor's in the front of the engine. The Holley 1 has a built-in fuel pressure regulator right here on the back, whereas Holley 2, they give you the regulator in the kit and you have to find a place to mount this. I've found in certain cars this can be challenging, like say a C3 Corvette. So keep that in mind. You're gonna have to do some extra plumbing. The Holley 2 is much more compact and looks more like a carburetor. This, like I said, looks like a thermoquad, like big and wide. The wiring harness comes out of the back in 2 spots. Very simple. You have the troublesome 4-pin display cable, your temp sensor, your options cable, your main power cable, and your O2 sensor. It looks like a lot, but it's very simple. On Holley Sniper 2, they have everything coming out of the back in 1 spot, which makes it really nice. So they've combined the 2 harnesses into one on the Sniper 2. This is all your options and power. Temp sensor, you've got the new rotary CAN bus connector looking thing for the display. I love that. And you still have your long O2 harness. Everything coming out of the back, everything completely hidden. You still have all your vacuum ports, just like Holley gives you a lot. You do have secondary adjustment on the Holley 2. You have idle adjustment and secondary adjustment. I have gotten one of these out of the box from Holley with both of these turned way in, and as soon as I tapped the key, the truck went to like 3,000 RPM. So you're going to back these out before you do your initial start. The Holley 1 in that respect has a single idle adjustment, and you can see the distance from the pivot to the pickup point is only about 1 inch or so. That's a troublesome issue on these Holley 1. You can see on the Holley 2, they've extended that by at least 1 inch, which is pretty common to what we do to make these a little more drivable out in the field. We usually add 1 inch to that. I really don't have anything bad to say about a Sniper 1, and if you're got a very simple install, no nitrous, no turbos, no electric fans, no crazy CD ignition. This is very simple. Like, we'll cover the wiring in a second, but it doesn't get much easier than this. Same here, except like I said, you gotta plumb the extra fuel regulator. The wiring is very similar. You just have a lot more options here. And let's get into that wiring. So everybody always says, I'm scared of the wiring, I don't want to do the wiring. Well, this is it. It's very simple. If you just follow the directions. Most people don't want to follow the directions, but it's very simple. Here, if you're running a CD box ignition, you use this. If not, not needed. If you're running a coil, tack output, key switch 12 volts. Has to be on key switch 12 volts in crank and run. So a lot of your old muscle cars, when you go to on, you have 12 volts. When you go to crank, it disengages the entire electrical system except for crank. Your EFI will never work. I usually put these on a hidden switch. It's added security also. At the other end, you have the fuel pump wire and power and ground. So must go to the battery. Don't run it to a terminal board. Don't run it to a circuit box or a fuse box. Battery every time. You'll have no problems if you just do that. That's literally it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connections right here. So the Sniper 2 harness looks a little bit more daunting, but it's just because you have a lot more options to deal with. They've kind of broadened the spectrum for a lot more cars. So you've got your main connector. Everything goes into this one connector. We've already cut off our coil negative because we're not using that in this case. So you have coil negative here. The white wire is if you had points ignition. The pink wire is still key switch 12 volts. Remember, 12 volts in run and crank. You have an extra CAN bus cable, and I can't get them to tell me what this is for yet, but I'm putting no on here. If you connect your display to this one, it will not work. And you'll call Holley and you'll feel like an idiot. Ask me how I know. You have your options output. This can be used to trigger relays, run electric fans, nitrous controllers, boost controllers. This does all kinds of cool stuff. The relay and fuse is still here. You still have the same blue, really long fuel pump wire, and you still need to go directly to power and ground of the battery. So, oh, they also gave you the direct CD box connection this time, so you can plug right in if you're using that option. Even more control of your EFI. New spring for the entire Holley ignition system comes with the HyperSpark distributor, HyperSpark coil, and the CD box here. So you're going to need a harness with that, and Holley's got you covered. It's just a few bucks. You call them up, and they'll send you this. So this, not as daunting as it looks. It's pretty much plug and play. You hook right into the CD box. That goes directly to the battery, power and ground, directly to the battery again. One has this little plug here, which hooks to this little harness. We'll talk about it in a second. And this one hooks right to your coil. That's a forward style connector there. So this right here is your key switched power to the entire ignition system. But that white wire, remember we talked about on the previous harness, goes to the points output. That also controls the CD amplifier, so you'll hook this to that white wire. And you'll have an interface system, and the Holley EFI software will completely control your timing. And when we install this full system on the car back there in the future, we'll completely record that process because it's kind of a little bit of a pain in the ass. You're basically setting up a faux timing initially so that this system can control it, but it comes with everything you need. So if I talk a little bit too fast for you and you're still kind of confused, they do come with full color instructions. The Sniper one is so simple, it's really hard to mess up as long as you follow these directions. They do have a little options harness here. You can run electric fans. You can also have the AC kick another fan on or increase the RPM on the Sniper 1. The Sniper 2 being a little bit more complex, basically meaning you have more options. The diagram's a little bigger. You can see on this, they finally put a tack output, which is great for us who are installing Dakota digital gauges, because we need that tack output to run the tachometer in the dash instead of piggybacking off the coil with the EFI. You can see what everything does. You can run the Holley digital dash. You can Bluetooth now. You don't even need gauges anymore with your CAN bus connector here. They cover Holley's full remote terminal control system, as well as the full ignition system like we discussed. Everything is here in the books. These have never led me astray. So there's a few other improvements on the Holley 2 that I want to talk about real quick over the Holley 1. So I personally have never had any issues with Holley 1. I had this exact unit on a 396 big block in my 65 Impala ragtop, and we went on Power Tour in 2021 and everything was great, except I cheaped out and didn't put the fuel pump in the tank. So we ended up having to stop about every 90 miles and ice cool the fuel pump down. Had I not cheaped out, I would have had zero issues with this driving around hot southern Georgia as well as hot rod Power Tour in the summer. Don't ever do that. If you're gonna put EFI and put the pump in the tank, I know it's another $600 to do the whole kit, but your back will thank you. So in addition to the extended throttle blades and moving the computer for EMI, they've also permanently attached the injectors inside with bracketry versus a press fit in here. Some people have had issues with these injectors working loose, EMI interference and such, but they tried to fix all that. The other big problem I had was the CAN bus connection. This thing was hooky. You almost broke it every time you disconnected it. This one just comes right undone. For those of you who bought the full fuel system master install kit, I think Holley calls it, this is what you're gonna get in addition to your Holley Sniper. And it comes with pretty much everything you need if you're gonna use the outside pump and filters and all the stuff that basically, if you're just throwing this on a car to get it running and driving, you'll use all this. I highly recommend buying the Tanks Inc. fuel tank kit. The Corvette was the most expensive one we bought, and it was like $670, but usually they run right under $600 for every car. That's just a safe, clean way to supply fuel to your Holley Sniper. You will need to buy 2 additional fittings at the top of the tank to convert to AN. Other than that, though, let's talk about what the kit comes with. Plenty of fuel hose. I've never not had enough hose. Even doing old 60s B-body, C-body muscle cars. It comes with all the fuel injection clamps you'll need. It comes with all Earl's vapor fittings. These are the kind with the one little section here that you do use a fuel injection clamp. These are not push lock. It comes with all the fittings and plugs for the regulator that they give you. It comes with a Holley fuel pump to mount on the frame. It comes with all the frame brackets and all the associated fittings you'll need for this. So obviously when you buy the Tanks Inc. kit, it comes with a fuel pump, and you won't use this fuel pump. This is actually a really nice pump. You could sell this. I think these are like $60-$70 on their own, or you can use this for another project. We use them here to troubleshoot. Sometimes we'll put those in line to troubleshoot instead of taking a tank apart, but I've probably got 8 of these laying around. Also in the kit, you get this little NOS bulkhead fitting. That's to run your return back to the tank and dump it in. It comes with a pump pre and post filter. So basically an entire EFI fuel system, which is great. Like I said, if you do the Tanks Inc. setup, you will need the 2, I think it's 3/8 pipe to -6 AN fittings there. They're not too bad. Another instance we've had to get fittings was low hood clearance, like 66 T-Birds, C3 Corvettes. So when you've got this Holley Sniper sitting on top of the engine, you want to run a drop base air cleaner. You can't do that with these sitting here. So we have had to purchase 45-degree fittings to drop that out of the way, so keep that in mind. You may have to get some custom fittings. This is basically what you get when you get the full fuel system kit. Like I said, I've never needed anything else. If you got any questions about these particular units, just shoot us a comment down below. We're going to be installing this kit on our Project Recession Proof truck. If you've been following the channel, you'll understand what happened there. And then this one's going on a C3 Corvette with the full ignition system, Dakota Digitals, and the Dakota Cruise Control. So that should be pretty cool. We're going to film and document all that for you. Like I said, I don't think one's better than the other. They did fix a few things, but I've installed well over a dozen of these, and I've had zero issues. They just work. So grab yourself one of these, throw it on your hot rod, enjoy the cruising, and in the meantime, make sure you get out in your family's garage and get some work done.